Acme Incorporated needs a collaboration solution for two of their departments, accounting and marketing. They would like to use two sites, one for each department. The management team will be responsible for collaboration between sites, and the members of each group will be limited to their respective sites. Acme wants the non-management members of each group to have the ability to create and edit content. Today's example will be broken down into 4 steps: overview of permissions, creating groups, assigning users to groups, and creating sites. I have already set up the users in the control panel, and I'm using the site owner as login. Step 1 is where I'll establish what permissions will be needed. Given Acme's requirements, this is how I'll assign permissions. I've determined that full control is best for management, and contribute will work best for the employees of each department. Here in step 2, I'll define the groups needed, starting with management. I want a single point of contact for the entire company's SharePoint site, so I'll leave SharePoint admin as the only group owner. This option will influence editing of group membership further down in the options. I'm going to leave most of the options on their default values, but call attention to who can edit the membership of the group and choose the permission level group members get on this site. Above, I left SharePoint admin as the only entry, so by default I alone control this group's membership. And I determined beforehand the best permission level for the management group is full control. I'll create the accounting and marketing groups in the same way, with the only difference being the permission level. For members of these groups, contribute is the best fit. In step 3, I'll assign the employees to their appropriate groups. I'm going to add the usernames Steph and Andrew, then click the Check Names button. That checks the usernames against SharePoint's Active Directory entries that were set up in the Savvis Direct control panel. I want to add users to a SharePoint group and select Management from the drop-down. Notice that I'm reminded of the management group's permissions, full control. If I wanted to, I can have a welcome email sent to the new users. Assigning users to the accounting and marketing groups is done in the same manner. I just make sure to pick the appropriate group from the drop-down menu. This brings me to step 4. I'm ready to create the 2 team sites, and in a manner similar to assigning users to groups, I'll assign groups to sites. I'll leave the site type on the default team site, and on the right select More Options. On this page, after filling out the site's identity information, the option that I'm going to make sure I check is the permission setting. Use unique permissions will allow me to specify the groups I want assigned to the site later in the process. I'll leave the rest of the selections on their defaults and click Create. Here, I'll assign groups to the site. SharePoint has 3 categories, but for Acme's needs, I'll only specify 2 of them. Since I don't need visitor or read-only permissions for this site, I'll let SharePoint create the visitors group, but I'll not populate it with users. The members of this site will be the accounting group, and the owners of this site will be the management group. Marketing site is done in the same way. I can now test my permissions by signing in as a different user. I'll log in as Andrew. Because Andrew is a member of the management group, and the management group has been assigned to both the accounting and marketing sites, I can see both of the sites listed here. When I log in as Jane, who is in the accounting group, the only site I see is accounting. And as expected, Sue can only see the marketing site. Here at Savvis Direct, we know that SharePoint can seem complicated, but our fast-forward onboarding team is here to simplify the process, just like this video does. We can make the process of setting up your users and groups easy and straightforward. If you're interested in learning more about SharePoint from Savvis Direct, please visit our website, savvisdirect.com.